We can.
All right. We are live.
Excellent. We are live. Done this in a while.
It's been a while. How's everybody doing?
It has been a while.
I'm alive.
Chair still feels good though.
Yep.
The only thing we're missing, I think, Sean, is Dallas right about now. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that could like complete the day.
He's been working hard.
Hardly working.
Too hard. I don't know. Actually, we can't see how many. Oh, I can see. Okay, there's one viewer. I can see. We can see on this part here. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, I say we kick off, and whoever wants to join the party can join the party.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome back to Crypto Chat Live. In the top square is the Professor Sean Neal. In the bottom box is Joe back from Poland and the Ukraine on assignment. And in the center square is myself, Keith Carpenter. Great to see everybody. It has been quite a while since we've had the opportunity to spend some time together. So it is great to be back. And hey, CDM, good to have you on the stream. It has been a while.
It is, but I feel like the crypto market is rebooted to like 2019. Yeah, market cap of 1.8. I mean, the last time we kind of talked, it was around 3 trillion.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad time to take a little pause as the market consolidated and found its footing. I got to tell you,
Windows.
Yeah, it reminded me. It's funny, speaking of Windows, it reminded me of like 07, 08 when just everything freezed up and it was just blood in the streets. And you know, I stopped looking at my wallet. I stopped looking at my account balance because it was just pure pain. But it does feel like we've found a bottom, and I will say that it did not feel like blood was running in the streets. It just felt like a painful grinding correction, which again I say very good for crypto overall.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at my accounts in a while. I just I kind of go into trading view and then go, okay, I'll look at my accounts tomorrow or next month.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Poland and the Ukraine, it is fascinating to read all these stories about how crypto is playing a role, you know, in that whole, you know, Russian-Ukraine experience. And it is nice to have some of these positive stories come out, you know, exactly, you know, what this was intended for, to be borderless, to be instantaneous, to be trustless, you know, all these things, really letting the good light shine on it, I think is. And I think you're going to hear candidly more stories about this because sadly, I don't think this is going to end anytime soon.
The Ukraine is a big country for crypto too.
Yeah.
At the same time, Russia, and I don't know, how is this going to swing? How does, you know, Biden say crypto's helping Russia? Are we going to regulate it? I don't know. It could be good or bad for crypto.
They all talk out of both sides of their mouth like that, you know, and it's always crypto is used for money laundering, but you know, in the end, banks are used for money laundering. Let's just call a spade, right? I mean, people use banks to launder money, not crypto. So you got to get it to fiat somehow. You can't buy a yacht with Bitcoin, at least not yet. So it's still banks that are helping the last mile there. So I don't know. It's.
But at the same time, you get the devil's advocate. You could see Biden having an excuse to start regulating crypto when, you know, that's how Russians can get around some of these sanctions.
Of course, right. If you're saying, hey, how do I move value from here to there without anybody knowing? Yes, that's, you know, theoretically what crypto does. But again, once you get it in, what are you going to do with it? You know, you can't withdraw it to dollars unless you go through some KYC somewhere. So, yeah, but.
Yeah, valid point. Yeah, I guess it's good, valid point. How would they get it out? But they can go to a Russian-friendly country. They can go to China. They could probably do KYC in China, or you know, China's not really banned, kind of banned, but not banned.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It's always two sides. But I mean, yeah, this is what crypto was meant for, right? I mean, if you don't want to have a wallet where people can reach in and grab your dollars out, that's what this does. So yeah, but yeah, I wish we could get through 2 trillion. That's just like a really sort of psychological number. 1.95 trillion. Like, can't we just get like a little bit more?
We just 2 minutes ago we were struggling to get 1 trillion. So I mean, I think 1.8. It's just insane that we went through all this, and we're at 1.8.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's so true.
Especially after the regulation, and you think stable coins, Biden passing the stable coin thing helped out? Yeah, give a little confidence.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, brings it to the masses. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I mean, the rhetoric coming out of Washington has really moderated a bit. The pendulum has swung in a bit. It's no longer, granted, there are opinions in Washington where it's still the devil. However, I think you're seeing a little more of a constructive approach to it, where they're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And I think finally they realize that it's, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and it's here and it's staying. So you're either going to have a seat at the table and be part of the conversation, or it's going to move on, and somebody else will establish leadership position in crypto, i.e. China. Well, although they banned it too, but
yep. To me, the day Coinbase became publicly traded was the day you knew that the U.S. government was not going to ban crypto. They wouldn't allow that to go that far.
Right.
So you always have to think back at that. Like, they might regulate it in some ways, but they're not going to make it go away. They're not going to push it away.
No, it's the classic. Regulate something and make a tax on it, right?
Yep. So more lawyers get money.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
It's like cigarettes, right? Cigarettes 101.
Yep.
The Golden Goose. But it is exciting. Yeah, and like I said, to rewind, I think when you pull back, yes, it was a painful grind down, but no panic, no 80% retracement like some of the skeptics were calling for, right? We didn't see that. It hurt. Yes, we retraced a lot. Yes, wallets went down, but it wasn't this like pure panic selling, which I think, again, is a reflective of maybe a maturing marketplace.
Well, and if you look at these top 10, 20, even 20 coins, it's all kind of the same names, right? There's nothing really that's fallen so far. It's no longer even, say, top 50. I think there's a couple new ones, but Internet Computer's still there, Decentraland, Sandbox, right? Filecoin, all these ones that have been there, Hedera, Hashgraph, right? They're all still sort of there. Ethereum Classic, right? So nothing really just went like where to go, So.
Right. It was very broad based.
Yeah, and it gives people the ability to jump back in too.
Yep.
This is your 50th chance.
Yeah. Well, it was funny, Sean. I'll piggyback on that. You and I had a couple of offline conversations because there was some interesting price action in Ethereum Classic, which of course led to the conversation about I wonder if the mining community out there or the investing community is looking at what happens when ETH makes the change, kind of looking for what is that next proof of work coin. Maybe some repositioning or reshuffling. That'll be really interesting. And I think we as a group talked about looking at maybe, the top 10 candidates for that switch and what coins would benefit most, and maybe looking at those a little deeper. But I think that's starting to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's happening, I think, just pragmatically, my own standpoint. I run a fairly significant mining operation, and I've been evaluating the GitHub commits of various projects. That's very interesting to me to see who's really working on these things. Today I was looking at the Dogecoin project board and, seeing how active they are and are they actually, enhancing their product. Because I think that's what other people are going to be doing, right? What's on your roadmap? How real is this thing? So I think, you're going to see some technical analysis come out eventually and for proof of work coins, because people are going to, if you haven't touched your coin in 3 years, you probably don't really, have much interest in it. There's not a community, whatever, that's probably not when you're going to want to switch your hardware to. So I think there's going to be some analysis there. But yeah, I'm doing that myself over the next couple of weeks as we start to look at the transition.
Yeah, that'll be fascinating. That really will be fascinating to watch.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen the hash rate on Ethereum go down.
Yeah, yep. People are going away, and
Drastically.
you have seen it slowly migrate, but you haven't seen these other coins tanking, right? Everybody says, "Oh, people are going to mine the shit out of it and just sell it or whatever else." But you haven't seen. Raven is one of the ones that's always talked about. You haven't really seen it like tanking, but the hash rate's going up, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you just sit there and mine it. If you know that, what is it, half the price right now? You just mine it and sit on it and hope it goes back up to where it was, right?
Yep.
This ain't the time to sell anything.
Well, and I think too, again, it creates ecosystems for risk capital, right? If Ethereum is yielding 2% or whatever their proof of stake proposition is, and I think too, people have to think there is so much Ethereum locked in the staking contracts from like almost 2 years ago now, when they took all the the 32 ETH deposits. I forget what the percentage is, like 18% of Ethereum is locked into staking right now. That Ethereum was locked at like $300, right? Now it's 10 times that. All those people are gonna, 18% of Ethereum gets unlocked when this thing goes live, and that's all 10x. Like, you can't tell me people aren't take a little money off the table. That could be devastating for that coin. So yeah, there's a reason too to maybe switch into something else. But some people, is Ethereum going to 100x? I don't know. Do you see 300,000 Ethereum? That to me that seems a little far fetched. So people are going to look. Could you see $5 Raven? Yeah, right. I mean, that's possible. So.
I gotta tell you though, like the network effect, of Ethereum really is extraordinary. Like, I'm sorry, they are the hands down winner of like having all the tie-ins and all the corporate backing and interest and Wall Street money. Like, yeah, they're not going anywhere. But to your point, law of large numbers, right? They're at $3,000, 10x from here. They got a 30 grand, whereas Raven, you need to get to 6.
Yeah. And then you're right. They consensus, completely controls the Ethereum agenda aside from Vitalik. So yeah, there's lots and lots of institutional sort of steady-handedness on the project for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think that also weighs it down, right? There's not going to be a whole lot of innovation because, consensus is going to do what consensus wants with Ethereum. So you're only going to see stuff that benefits them. Not stuff that necessarily benefits the entire ecosystem. I think there may be some lack of innovation there, but we'll see.
No, I'm just looking and thinking a lot of things. I wonder how Vitalik's doing right now. He's based in Russia. This is I'm wondering how many people kind of freaked out a little bit when all this happened. In Russia, and how it was going to affect it. I know this is decentralized. It's centralized, but it's still Russian based, just like most of the places that we mine out of. The pools are mined out of Russia.
Yeah. I saw actually there's a conference that's going on in Austin in June or July, I forget. And they have all the speakers listed, right? And it was a crypto conference. And they had Edward Snowden. And he's President of the Free Press was his title. And I thought to myself, here's a guy living in Russia claiming to be president of the Free Press. Like, okay, this guy must have he must be untouchable, because really, it was just, I just laughed out loud when I read that. Yeah.
It's an interesting tool that they have there with him there, because they don't want to lock him up because it pisses off the US that he's there. Yeah. So they can't, who's to say maybe he's not in Russia or pretends he is?
He's not anymore. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
Do we have any chance fear and greed or?
Oh, I didn't. Let's see. I did have a couple of articles, but we don't have to go. Let's see.
Oh, no. Do the articles, man. I'm all about it.
Read crypto. Let's take a look. I'm using Brave now, so
Oh, you
Oh.
switched, huh?
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But guys, stop. I know we all go, ugh. But look at that. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's been there pegged to the left at like the 11 o'clock position for a long time. And
Yeah.
and again, I'm sorry. Like, it's just there's not blood running in the streets. I wish it was all green, but I just it feels
It's not terrible.
no, it's not terrible. It feels orderly. It feels like a consolidation.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of fear though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found good old Cardano. Doing an upgrade today. Doing an upgrade. Looks like they had a little uptick. I wasn't sure what this upgrade was. Actually, I haven't followed them, but they're talking about having having actual users, like, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know. It's
Did their price upgrade?
72% of Cardano is staked, so it's hard for them to really.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson for Dynamo and other coins. It's not really traded that as much. 72% staked.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was 90 cents. I mean, that's not too bad.
That's a good price to get it at.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very good price to get it at.
And the thing is, again, they're doing stuff. Like, they're actually they're upgrading their network. They're trying to get people to use their tools. So, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. I'll stay a little pessimistic until I see something happen.
Mm-hmm.
You said 72% is staked?
72% of Cardano is staked. I thought at one point it was 80. It's 72%. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, see, a lot of people got in at 30 cents and they just staked it.
You just stuck. Yep.
And unlike Ethereum, when you stake it, you could pull it out. You're not stuck until the update or the upgrade.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
making more Cardano, by staking it.
Right. That's. So I saw this that ape token. As soon as I heard this thing, I was like, "What a cash grab!" Right? Like, these guys just want to, they made the Bored Ape things. They sold them out, and I think they made like 5 million or something. Of course, now it's gajillions, right? But yeah, the thing just tanked. So I mean,
a lot of
you
people
totally
made money with it.
Yeah, you watch that life cycle come, right? Like, it was the darling, it was the hot thing, and then you watched people kind of get over it and then get really pessimistic and negative on it, and boom, there you go, 80% drop.
Yeah. So it did say it was in the top 2.4 billion market cap, so that's not bad. 49th largest coin. I didn't see it on CoinGecko though, so maybe it's taking a dive even more. But I think this is what happens, right? When people try to go for a cash grab, it's just like people are like, no, right? People are over these airdrops and these.
You think so?
I feel like I feel like the market's matured, I guess. Say that.
But Sean, all right, so let's talk about that. I mean, the traditional art market is notoriously opaque. It's not like the stock market where market makers are making prices instantaneously, all day long, every day. This NFT market, I mean, just using Bored Ape as an example, like, what's the mark to market on that? Like, how are you valuing that? I read the headline too. I was happy to see it cracked, but
I know. Yeah, it is very non-fungible, right?
yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Actually, I do have. I brought up the NFT sales just to see, because I thought this was kind of interesting. So this is U.S. dollar sales volume over the last year, and you can see it's actually remarkably stable, right? Like, we had this huge run up in the summer, and then it's not too bad. So I thought that was kind of a testament to the maturity of the market, and the fact that maybe aren't, not all these things are just garbage. I do think that it was CryptoPunks, right? Like this is the #1 top sales CryptoPunks. So it's kind of
until Total Mayhem comes along.
That's right.
Enjoy it now, CryptoPunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're still looking at 88 million, 43 million. Like that's a lot of volume and a lot of liquidity in just regular old art. So it's kind of.
Well, this is the second time NFTs have dropped. It'll boom again. But it hasn't dropped as bad as it has before.
Yeah. I think it's much better.
Yeah, I think, Sean, if you zoom out, if you go far left, there's like one little spike right there.
Yeah.
Like right there. I bet when it crashed, everyone was like, "Oh, that's it. Like we're done. It had its thing. Told you so, Bob."
Yeah.
Well,
that may be May of 2021. That may be when Bored Ape came out. So that may have been that. That may have been that, and everything went down. Yep.
Trying to find the where is it?
But it is interesting too, because I think there is a certain element of art to it, right? Like again, okay, Bored Ape is out now. It's another genre, because you hate to say it, but art is fickle. Art is art, so it's not. Yeah, kind of fascinating.
Yeah,
we all knew that was going to happen, though.
Oh yeah,
especially NFTs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I read a report that like 60% of the links of NFT art are inaccessible. Like they're completely gone from IPFS or whatever.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So whatever you bought is gone, unless you saved it yourself locally. So
wow.
Yeah. So you own it, but it doesn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even sell it because it's not there.
Yeah. I found this interesting article, and I'm not sure how much I agree with it or don't agree with it. It's obviously near and dear to my heart since we're doing play to earn gaming. Some group of guys are talking about how they're going to onboard game developers, and one of the things that they said about sustainability here, this little paragraph here, is they call it pay to win, which I think is kind of interesting because this is a lot of what we've talked about, where it's essentially like staking. So you pay 100 whatever to buy this thing that then allows you to earn a certain ROI on it within the game, right? And I think that's that is a sustainable thing, as long as you incorporate some third party revenue stream. Otherwise, it's just Ponzi scheme because the money has to come from somewhere. So they didn't mention any of that, but I think it was an interesting article because they keep talking about play and earn instead of play to earn, right? That quality of game is important. But I would tell you, every interaction that I've had with any game developer so far who's not into crypto, right? Who's not a crypto focused person who then develops games, but a game developer person who might be interested in crypto, everything has been so negative. Like it's all a scam. They don't want to give up they don't want to associate their good name with it. Like, so I think these guys have a lot of barriers to entry still. I think it's very hard to get traditional gaming studios to sign
It's
up.
fascinating how at a time the gaming studios were the very, out there adventurous type, and now they're the most conservative.
Yeah.
It's like the social media platforms.
Yeah. I mean, because you have a brand, right? You have Call of Duty or whatever, right? Like you got these brand name recognition that you want to protect, and you don't want to have it associated with scammy things that are money laundering, right, and everything else that the government said.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that like moves along with perception as, say, the government moves and regulation moves? Because again, personally, I think it's just you don't know what you don't know, And I'm sorry, like if you're out there playing Candy Crush or what have you, do I want to earn their like bogus, worthless, like ecosystem based gold coins or gems? Or hey, at the end of the month or quarter or a year, if I want to move out, $125 of crypto that I earned just by playing the game I love. Yes, please sign me up. I just think it's they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win.
No, yeah, no, I definitely think so. It's just very hard to get those developers to understand it.
I think it's got to be bottom up, Sean. I don't think, to your point, I don't think top down strategy is the way to go, because yes, these legacy studios, they have their way of doing it, very old school, to Joe's point, established in their ways. It's the new blood, it's the younger studios that's got to bring it up.
Yeah.
But I think in a few years it'll be ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, say again.
It's fascinating how it cycles and things change, and those are the conservative businesses now.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's so true. Those are the old school guys. So. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to see if there's any comments. It pulls up a little. Hey, Sheriff 1980.
Sheriff just said hi.
Half hour.
Well, to be fair, I don't know how much notice we gave the peeps.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I think the whole play to earn thing, like in a few years, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't know how, like, not to say I got by without it, but I gamed without it. Like, why would I have just wasted my time playing a game when I could have been, making a buck or two, a coin or two.
Yep. Or earning a living, right? In some cases.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a third world country, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting stuff, and I like that they coined that whole play to earn, play to win to win.
Play to win to win. Yes.
Play to win to win. Yeah.
Play to win to win.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there a work to earn or something like that, which is kind of like, don't you just work anywhere to earn?
I know, right? Work to earn. It's a new concept. Work to earn. Pretty sure I've been doing that all my life.
You're a pioneer, man.
Yeah, right? All of a sudden, what's old is new. Yeah.
Everybody's just struggling for a different phrase or a different active use.
Totally. It's always buzzwords. McKinsey is like great at creating these buzzwords so that people have some new need that they think they have, right? At least all these management consultants that create some new need.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a poll of the room here. So basically, the Fed has come out and said, yeah, we're way behind the curve with inflation, and we're going to start moving, and we're going to start moving aggressively. So what say the both of you gentlemen? What impact, if any, will that have on crypto, and even specifically store of value coin like Bitcoin?
Sean, you're the expert.
So I first want to say all these pundits, 18 months ago said inflation is transitory, right? And then inflation is here, but it's not, like it's not real inflation. And now we have inflation that we have to combat with how many, 0.5% increases all of a sudden, right? So clearly these guys at the helm really don't know where they're steering the ship and turning the dial. So, I don't even know that, frankly. Yes, we see inflation in the terms of food prices and whatever else, but I think that's largely driven by energy costs, right? I mean, it fuel inputs into everything, right? Everything takes energy to create, and when the cost of energy goes up, the price of everything else down the chain goes up. So I don't know that we're seeing necessarily. I mean, I guess you could say at the restaurant, right? Because they're paying higher wages, finally paying people living wages, right? So you do see, an $18 pizza instead of a $14 pizza. But I wonder how much of this inflation is because of an overheated economy, quote unquote, versus just some of these other existential events that don't really reflect on overall economic activity, right? Just because the price is going up doesn't mean that there's more stuff and more demand. So I'm worried that they're combating something that maybe doesn't exist. And I would say that the price of crypto is probably decoupled from any sort of interest rate hikes. I think that, yeah, I think these are like, we're still so early days in trying to like predict the price of Google or Alta Vista, in 1999, right? One went to $1 trillion, one went to zero, right? Like, can you say that? And based on so many other sort of outside events, the war and supply chain issues and all these other kinds of things. So I think it's really hard. I don't think it's connected.
See, a lot of this you think is just companies pricing stuff in early, expecting, just pricing it in now than later on when it's too late.
Like gasoline, right? I mean, the oil that made the gasoline that's at the pumps today was pumped like 9 months ago, right? It's not like they pumped it two days ago and bought it, had to pay $110. Like it's all in the system for months and months, right? So the fact that these oil companies are jacking the prices it's just price gouging. It's not, anything related to incredible demand, right? It's just taking advantage of consumers. So
I tell you, speaking of oil, just a slight segue, I think I had heard today that while we have seen, the price of gas go up, whatever, double over in Europe, and you might have seen this, Joe, when you were over there, the price of gas and or LNG or oil has just gone up fivefold. It's just been an incredible price rise.
When I did the math when I was in Poland, I would say it came out to about the same price as like $5 or $6 a gallon. So it wasn't extraordinary like when I was in Italy. It's double the price, but I'd say it was around what's here, right? $5 a gallon. What is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I paid like $4.25 for 30. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, man, it's it is interesting. The jury's out on, I agree. I think it's been decoupled. I don't see people moving into Bitcoin specifically because of this. But I think it would be interesting if you live in a country where, your currency was being devalued.
Yes.
That could be really, really interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think there's any statistics available on that.
Yeah, if the ruble is down 60%, a lot of people may prefer Ethereum.
Yep.
Yes, that I could see.
But to your valid point, and that's what I was wondering, at what point does Biden use that as an excuse to regulate crypto because he thinks the Russians are using it to, overthrow Ukraine or, get around sanctions.
Right.
But yeah, how do you find out? Basically, you just go across the board, but then they could just go to a Russian-friendly country.
Right. Well, and if they just use it to buy a loaf of bread, to maintain the value instead of having to deal with 20% inflation of their own.
The average person's not going to be doing that. They don't care. It's the oligarchs that want to move $1 billion.
Right. Which, I mean, trying to move $1 billion without somebody seeing it on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's a public ledger. Like anybody can see it. So yeah, I don't know. That's, I think that would.
At the start of this war, you saw a lot of crypto moving through the Middle East. And the theory was that it was a lot of Russians moving it through there.
Right.
I mean,
but even with that, Joe, you're not seeing like Bitcoin move up like significantly as a huge tell that all these, oligarchs and billionaires are just dumping huge amounts of money in it. You're just not. I mean, I'm sure it's happening, but I haven't seen enough to move Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's hard to hide $1 billion no matter what you put it into. So,
Yeah,
but to Joe's point, I mean, there's like how many billionaire oligarchs? Like, you're not talking about one guy. You're talking about like dozens.
Right, right.
We got caught a lot of them off guard, though, like that owner of Chelsea, the soccer team.
Yeah.
A lot of them caught them off guard. So they weren't prepared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unique.
Yeah. So, and our buddy isn't on here, so we can rip him. We can tease him about Solana. Solana's down to $88 from 260 or 270. What was that?
Ouch!
I know.
Before we came on, I looked at Helium, just for Dallas, just to see where helium was. Fair and about the same as the broader market. It ain't great, but it didn't fall out of bed.
Yeah.
Shiba still exists.
Yeah.
They so I looked at Shiba as well, and they don't really have any sort of roadmap or anything. They're just kind of like, we're a meme coin. Hopefully Elon just keeps posting shit, right? Because
how liberating is that? How freeing is that?
we have no game plan whatsoever. Just bias.
That's the beauty. You don't have to worry about being called a scam. We already said, hey, we're just a joke.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, it is a little bit, like you said, a little bit liberating. Just you do nothing, bias.
Yep, exactly. That is so cool. God bless.
And it shows the majority of the public don't look at crypto as what they should be, as software projects. They're just looking at it as money.
Yep.
Which is dangerous because these are software projects.
Yep. Or should be. Right?
Yeah, it should be.
Not all of them have developers, so
yeah.
Dogecoin has a bunch of stuff going on. I was very impressed with their with their project board and their GitHub commits. They are definitely doing stuff, so it's cool.
Yeah, it seems like Doge is not going to go away. They have enough big people behind them now.
Yeah, I got to figure out if we can mine that or not. I know they use script, which is basic, but there may be some point when it becomes, there may be some ROI there. I don't know.
Yeah, because I know my mining on Ethereum is cut in half at this point.
Yep. Yeah, same here. It's brutal. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, what other options are there? What else is there out there?
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to put together some kind of report of something. I'm going to send it around to everybody and say, do some testing. And I think it's, again, it should be like an in-depth analysis, not just here's your straight up ROI, here's your straight up liquidity, but, what's the 6 to 9 month horizon look like? Who are the people who are behind these projects? How active are they? What's their technology look like? There's an important qualitative analysis too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should like bullet point a top 10 list. Candidly, even as we do the ongoing analysis, I'd love to just mark the market with the top 10 and just sort of see, because guaranteed, if us three market making savants are doing this, I guarantee you there's a whole lot of other folks out there doing it too.
Yeah.
So
that might be a good episode, actually. Maybe if we do something like middle of next week where we do a review. I was going to point a bunch of miners to a bunch of different projects just to see not only my yield, but also how hard, right? Like if I go mine Litecoin, do I have to get on Gate.io, which means I have to, I don't know, spin up a virtual machine or use a VPN, or, what's the KYC look like? And like, how hard is it to get liquidity in these coins too, right? I mean, we're going to want to mine, we're going to want to cover our rent and our electricity at least. So, how do you get these things to fiat?
And it's to that point when you say Gate.io, I've had it for a long time and I haven't really done anything on it. But every time I've tried to contact them about anything, you can't get a hold of anybody.
Yeah,
which is dangerous. They can say that about Coinbase and other places, but eventually they get back to you.
Yeah.
But I've probably emailed them 30 times and I have gotten nothing.
Right.
So
and that's a
danger in there.
Yeah, when you start moving, I don't know, $10,000-$20,000 a month through that, and nobody's answering your question, and your transaction is lost on the chain somewhere. Like, hello, yeah. So I'm not picking on them. I have no idea if they are good or bad or indifferent, but I'm just saying, we may end up on some of these, secondary exchanges with lower liquidity and no tech support and based in Slovenia or whatever. Right?
Yeah. And Sheriff 1980 just said this. I don't know where it was from, but didn't Gate.io just send emails to all American users to pull their funds?
I didn't see that. That's no good.
I'll be using them, man. Yeah.
Just like off the list.
Yeah.
I was really trying to get us on there. They have social media platform inside it. So you can be trading and then pull up and watch live crypto chat lives and all these different languages. But
I finally got rid of my New York license. I'm officially a Delaware driver. So now at least I can get Binance. Right? That's a little,
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, not hamstrung by New York anymore.
I know. We can't get on any of the
New York
can't
is.
get on Binance, can't get on Voyager.
Yep.
Nothing in New
Yep.
York.
Yep. No, Delaware's pretty permissive, so it should be better. But still, I mean, trying to figure out, again, Litecoin or I don't know. I'm not just saying that, but Ethereum Classic, I don't know how to move Ethereum Classic around in any substantive way, right? If I'm going to want to move $10,000 a month in Ethereum Classic, I have no idea, right? So we have to figure all those things out. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to type up some kind of something. Maybe we can go over that next week. It would be interesting, and solicit community feedback too. I think people who have experiences with doing some of these altcoins. Raven is not easy either, right? I mean, none of these coins are on Coinbase. Right? So, yeah.
Well, yeah, ETH Classic is.
Oh, Ethereum Classic? I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting if we put together like a top 10 list and then sort of take a price snapshot of it now as we move into the Ethereum Switch. Which, by the way, have they pushed it again? Is there any chatter around it being pushed or just quiet? We're in the quiet period.
They launched the final testnet called Kiln last week. There was a couple of people that said their validators were not working. They had a consensus layer call, which is the core developer call, yesterday, I think, or the day before. I saw it just posted on YouTube. They've been disabling comments on their. So I don't know, maybe they're getting some hate mail or something. But usually I'll scroll the comments. These meetings are over an hour sometimes, so I don't listen to all of them all the time. But I'm going to listen to the next one that comes up because usually they talk. All the developers go through all their different issues. So I am going to listen to whatever the next one is. I think it's the next couple of days. But they were talking about how can they push the merge on a monthly basis because the difficulty bomb, I think, is set for July 15th or something. And they were talking about how could they push it to August 15th, and how could they develop like an automated way to push it every month so they didn't have to do a release of all the different clients, basically a hard fork. Every time. So they were talking about pushing. I think it's July 15th. I don't quote me on that, but I think July 15th is when the difficulty bomb initially goes off, and basically Ethereum becomes unminable by early September because the difficulty just goes exponential.
You think that early, huh?
I think they were talking about pushing it and how could they easily push it on a monthly basis because they're still not quite sure. So, but yeah, July is right now the current date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
With this whole Russia thing and Ethereum kind of being based over there, do you think that Russia's going to block? The internet's been blocked from Russia, and Russia's kind of has their own internet, and they're kind of isolating themselves like China. You think it'll have any effects? I mean, a lot of people are still mining through Russian farms.
Flexpool is the biggest one. I think they're all US based on Amazon servers. I don't know. I have not looked at other pools because Flexpool's been treating me really good. So I don't know. But yeah, that's an interesting point. I did see on Flexpool that they've started to announce other coins support. So clearly they're getting ready, for transition as well. And I think that's good. That there's going to be a wider base of coins and it'll attract more capital. So, crypto gets bigger.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. First day back. I think we did pretty good. We did about 50 minutes.
Got to get our hours.
I like these colors. Cool. I like the setup. It looks good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in, Sheriff and CDM. Always great to chat. Great to have you. And we'll do this again. We'll do it again.
Yep.
Cool.
See you guys.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.